You're listening to the #1 real estate podcast. We talk with agents all across the world about their wins, losses, lessons, and stories. My name is Cody from Sheridan Street, and I am joined with Vikram, the co-founder of the Real Estate Growth Academy. We are so excited to have Dallas Tung on our podcast today. Dallas, why don't you give us like a high-level overview of who you are, where you're at in the world. Give us a high-level overview on like how the heck you got into real estate, so that we can know a little bit more about you.
Well, thanks for having me. Basically started on real estate a year and a half. Yeah. February 2021. My other company's kind of running on its own. So I've been investing in real estate in the past, and I have a good friend that's a realtor here in Las Vegas. And I used him for my investments, so to speak. And COVID hit and I was kind of bored, and he was like, let's build a team. Get into real estate, dude. You're gonna kill it. I'm like, let me think about that. And I guess like 3 or 4 months later, I kind of was like, fine, because the housing market, I mean, it was freaking hot as hell, right? People were buying, selling left and right and stuff like that. So I started my courses and got my license December 2021. Finally waited for the board to get everything together and hung my license with KW in February 2021. After that, just full-time, full-on, head-on into real estate, just figuring it out, learning the industry, started making YouTube videos, like just touring, just going to these model homes and just doing videos and just trying to figure out how to make good content. It would help viewers kind of look at, help them see what I'm showing or what's available in Las Vegas.
Let me ask you a couple of questions, Dallas, as we get started here, because you are new and you're dominating. You're in the Real Estate Growth Academy. You're in Sheridan Street. Even though you don't pick up your phone enough, you're doing well. Every time I get an opportunity to blast you, I'm going to, because I love you and I do it out of integrity. But because you're newer and you're doing really well, like phenomenally well.
Yeah.
What are the biggest challenges that you see? Because you got in right at the shift of the market. So I'm going to ask you 2 questions. What's the most challenging part that you've been in with real estate so far?
Finding the leads.
Picking up your phone, damn it.
Yeah.
But what would you say
outside of like lead gen and what's been the hardest part in the first year and a half? Because like you surprised me that you've only been in the business for a year and a half. With all the content you're producing, I think that definitely shows that how valuable content is. But what's been the hardest uphill battle over the last year and a half?
So in the beginning, I was making content. I was doing Google ads, doing everything that I'm supposed to, right? Creating a GMB page, creating a website, just getting myself out there where people can find me. It was silent. It was pretty much I was doing one deal from February, March, and then April, one deal. So 2 deals. But after
where
that,
all these deals come from? Like, where do they come from?
Well, so my partner that told me to get into real estate, he gave me those 2 deals.
Okay.
Right. So it wasn't on my own. And then June, July, August, I'm like, damn, this is tough. It's tough. I'm doing everything. I'm just getting myself out there. I'm not getting any calls, right? Barely any calls. So that's when I realized how saturated this market is. But at the same time, very competitive. So you really got to work hard. And then mid-August, finally, people started coming in. And I understand that, these leads, the internet leads, it's a numbers game for one. But at the same time, most of them aren't ready yet. So it's going to take time. If you're going to sign up to like a lead generation company, right, stuff like that, you got to give them time. You got to give it like 6 months, because a lot of those people that you're going to get into your SOI, your kind of database, most of them are, for one, they don't know you, right? So very small percentage you're going to get, yes, I'm ready right now. You will get them, but most of them are really going to be 3 to 6 months. And so you got to be patient and just believe in it. Don't stop. Keep making content. And then finally, end of August, September, I got a lead from Instagram. Then these leads started coming in.
We're talking about the leads started showing up 8, 9, 10 months after you started creating content.
Yeah, February to because you got to start creating a lot. I mean, first
So
when you
I want everybody to stop, and I want you to say that one more time. You created content without getting any results for like 8 months, 9 months, and then it started popping. And when it started popping, it was like, holy crap, this works.
Correct. So basically, what does that tell you, right? It's telling you that everyone knows real estate, it's all about trust. People have to trust you. So with that said, it took that long for people to start seeing your content and then to kind of feel like, oh, I kind of know him now, or I trust him now, right? So you gotta, so it's very important. I mean, social media, YouTube, whatever, it's not a sprint. So keep making content for sure, and then they will eventually come. And then now as of today, like for the past few months, like upped my content.
So it's gotten so good even since I've known you. It's like remarkably every week it's a little bit better, like 5% better, which is 40% in like 8 weeks.
There's a lot of real estate agents that want to produce content, I think, but they don't necessarily know where to start. And I think that's a common thing that we see across multiple real estate agents that I talk to. I'm curious to know, like, how did you get started, like creating the content? Like because I find that there's a lot of mental roadblocks that people face where it's like, I don't like the way I look on camera, or I don't like the way that I sound. Like, how did you get over those mental roadblocks to start? And maybe there wasn't any, but like, what did you do in the beginning in order to get started?
Yeah. So, I grew up in pretty much corporate. I started my first company in 2005, manufacturing. So I'm not used to being in front of the camera. And even before.
What do you mean, manufacturing company representatives and owners don't make a lot of content for YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, right? That's weird.
Well, yeah. I mean, it depends, right? I'm a card manufacturer, making gift cards, hotel key cards. So I'm not business to consumer. I'm business to business. So I don't need to do that. I meet with other professionals, right? So, those are easy. I just be myself and talk business. But this is so different, like I've always loved photography and videography. When we go to like travel and stuff like that, I used to make videos of, me and my wife and stuff like that. You should see some of my old YouTube, my personal YouTube.
Why don't you repurpose those and put those up for like some lifestyle?
I thought about it, but they're kind of old, so I kind of feel like they're a little cheesy. They're not, they're not suitable
I'll still heart them and give you a comment.
I'll comment.
You'll have 2 hearts from us and 1 from your mom and 1 from your wife.
I do have one really good one from Cobble. That one was pretty good. I used the drone a lot and all that, and that was a pretty good one. I'll probably repurpose that one. But yeah, like, man, being in front of the camera, like right now, shaky, nervous, lots of takes, lots of stutter. And you could probably still tell my earlier videos that's still up, they were a lot slower, not as energetic, so to speak, right? So now I'm a lot more energetic when I talk on camera now. So you just got to keep going. Just keep practicing. Practice. I mean, professionals, golf players, they hit 1,000, 15,000 balls a day, right?
Oh.
And they're still doing it after 10 years, right? You got to keep practicing. You never stop. And also, and even the best people, the best mentors, the best coaches in the world, they have mentors and coaches. They're still making themselves better. So this is very important. All this is very important. You just got to keep going, keep at it. And eventually you're going to make that one video that's just going to go boom up.
Let me ask you a question, because here's the fear that a lot of people have. I've been creating content for 10 years. My hands are sweating right now, just like right now. This is a new thing. Like, I have a co-host next to me. We're doing live interviews, right? It's complete. Like, I've done the interview thing, but it just felt different, right?
It is different.
You said something that I think was really important. You said when you started, you weren't the same person you are now, but you kept going. but you have a lot of experience, right? Like people say, oh, Vikram, you have experience. You've been doing it for 10 years. I said, yeah, but when I started, I sucked. In fact, I show people like the videos from 3 months ago and they suck, right? But they're still getting 2, 3, 4, 5,000 views, which is like insane that they're such crappy videos. And so people are like, well, I don't have a drone. All I have is this iPhone 11, right? It's not even a 13, right? I don't have a microphone. I don't have the, lights like you guys have. I'm like, it's a $30 light off of Amazon. Like, it's not special. It's like, it's super cheap, right? Because I didn't know. How would you explain to somebody on your team that's brand new that you're like, hey, you got to make content? And they're like, well, we don't have the stuff you have. And we haven't been making drone videos for 5 years with our family in Cabo. Like, so, like, we don't even know how to get on YouTube. Like, we don't know our password, right? How do you get over all of those excuses that people are making?
Password reset.
Is that what it is, Cody?
Yeah, that's what
Cody's my tech support for the last 4 weeks. He's like, Vikram, at some point you got to learn, you got to go to forget password. I'm like, okay. So, but how would you coach your team on this?
Very easy. Your iPhone, your phone that you're using right now. What you guys are looking at me right now is phone. That's it.
You're on your phone right now.
I'm on an iPhone, so forget about all this stuff behind me. Forget about this. I mean, this is my recording place, but you don't need that. You can be in your kitchen, or you could be outside, wherever you want. You don't have to have all these, special things. Yes, they look more professional, they look nicer, but when you're starting nowadays, content, people talking, that is engaging. That is what is hooking people. And that's all people care about, is they want to hear your voice and hear what you have to talk about. Very easy. You can use captions on your phone to create those captions.
You shared something on the Real Estate Growth Academy last week. You shared a couple of apps that people can download. What are those apps? Because we want to provide tangible value.
Yeah. So, it depends how crazy you want to get.
80-year-old Sally that sells real estate that wants to start making videos because she's a rock star and she's crushing it, but she wants to share her knowledge.
Easiest thing is use your phone, download the captions app, right? And then when you record your video, you'll load it into captions and then choose your font, done, auto generate, and then save it, and then now post it. That's it. Easy as that. That's all you need to do.
Super simple. Like it's so interesting. You talk about using your iPhone, and so much of good content comes down to storytelling. So I'm really curious to know, when you started creating content, like what types of stories did you tell? Like what type of content did you start with? Like how can people get started with content? Because you're newer in the game, like you said, like a year and a half. Like that in itself should be encouraging to any real estate agent, whether you're 5 years in the business, 1 year in the business, 10 years in the business, that like this content thing is real. Like it's like people, like you mentioned earlier, like people trust people because of content, because it takes them into the world. So like, what are some ideas that you find are really working for you in your local market, and how can, and potentially, provide some tangible value to somebody else in another market that's looking to actually create content that eventually, 8, 9, 10 months down the road, provide some tangible results?
Yeah. So, right now, I have a team of people, right, giving me ideas of what to talk about as far as content. But someone that's starting, you're probably not going to have that budget, right? So honestly, is copy. Everyone's copying every way, right?
It's true.
I don't think most people are going to copy me.
They gotta get
when you're a professional, when you get better, you're going to create your own. You're going to start, but starting, see what other agents are talking about. It doesn't even have to be in your market, anywhere in the world. Whatever they're talking about that you think you like, talk about it, your version in your market. And that's it. That's super easy, right? It's just to start with the trending topics and then just go at it. And then once you start getting better, like 6 months, I guarantee you keep doing this like almost every day, or at least, 10 recordings once a week, even 5, right? Even 5 recordings once a week, and then you can post once a week or whatever. By the time 6 months comes, you're going to start making your own stuff.
I love chatting with you about this stuff, and I love content, right? Like I love creating content. And what I've started noticing, like even with Cody's content and with your content, is your personality start to come out more. You can see it like breaking through, even like our mentor, Sharon, right? Our business partner, our coach, even he's starting to make a little bit more racy videos, right? Because he's starting to get more comfortable in front of the camera. Like even though he's super great on camera, now that he's realized the power behind brand, his content's changing. And it's becoming a little bit more spicy. The hooks are a little bit more like, you know, he said business selling is like sex or something, right? And I was like, and you could tell his voice was shaky a little bit because it's not something he would like talk about. Yeah,
totally.
And so like when people are new, and I really want this to be, because there's so many talented agents that have so much experience that they hold to their belly because they're scared. What would be like you're just go at it? As Sharon has told us, your brand is your invisible hand, right? I have been making content for you guys. You guys have seen it. Like it's gone through many phases of content, right? And it took me going to see Jason Capital and spending, you know, a weekend with him or whatever, 3 days with him, where I was like, oh my God, you're never the same person. Because it just, people have such a short memory, and people like, I don't like the way I look on camera. I don't like the way I like, you know what the greatest thing about doing video, you guys, is you can smell like crap and you can still do video. Like that's the greatest thing. Like you don't have to even take it. Like you're like, oh my God, my armpits stink, and you can do a video and it doesn't matter.
I'm thankful you showered today.
Did I shower or did I put on extra deodorant? Nobody will know.
I mean, you know, it's just like Mr. Wonderful, right? You know, I mean, I'm not wearing any pants right now. You don't know.
Can we see that? Can we see that? I mean, I think we do. Are you wearing your cheetah thong again, Dallas? Are you wearing your cheetah thong? You know, we're gonna have to cancel this.
Like I said, you know, you follow other people. Mr. Wonderful sits in his boxers. You got right. You know, have you seen him? He's recording his videos, and then they do another take on the side of him, and he's literally in a top suit, and then he's wearing his underwear and his shorts.
I've done many of the real estate growth academies in boxers. I'm like, dude, it's just, you know, you're sitting under a desk. Like so I don't stand up every time.
Just stay sitting. Yeah, thank God. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because you didn't get into the game, like you got into the game when it was hot, but you also got into the game when it started shifting pretty quickly.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest arbitrage for agents right now in a shifting market? How do agents win, in your opinion? Because you didn't get into real estate because you wanted to get into real estate. You got into real estate because you're an entrepreneur who saw an opportunity. So you come at real estate very differently than the average agent. So what is your arbitrage that you see, because you study and you like cars and bikes, so I know you're smart. What is the arbitrage you see for agents right now in a shifting market?
The content. So right now, you know,
content.
Yeah, that's it. Just content, because at least for now, right? You know, the world changes all the time, things change, but you got to be able to adapt. That's the hugest thing, because yes, market shift. Honestly, beginning of this year, I was working with a whole bunch of buyers. Today, I'm like being called out to like listing appointments. In real estate, it doesn't matter what market you're in. You're a realtor, you buy and you sell, right? So it's a buyer's market, then you work with, you probably have more listings. And then, you know, you're out there, and just make sure that it's priced right and it's presented right. Then you get buyers coming to your house, and that's where you close deals. Seller's market, you go after buyers, right? You go after all the buyers, and then you work with buyers. So you just got to be able to shift, because no matter what kind of market it is, you know, there's always business for everyone.
The fundamental element is, you know, buyers want a home, sellers want a buyer.
Right.
Like no matter what market you're in, buyers want a home, sellers want a buyer. Like it's,
You know, Cody always says the stupidest thing that he hears. So Cody's not a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Right. So Cody's always like, dude, the stupidest thing that realtors say. And I'm like, there's a lot of stupid things realtors say, but what's one of them? He says, I only want listings. And I'm like, oh, I love those people. He's like, why? I'm like, because that leaves all the buyers for me. Because leases become buyers, buyers become sellers, right? Then they become a buyer. So you get two transactions out of it. They refer you to people, so they have more connection with you because you help them if you follow up with them, right?
Yeah.
And there's such an arbitrage. And what you said was amazing. You're like, well, I first had a lot of buyers, now I have a lot of sellers. you shared something on the call last week, or I guess 3 days ago, and you said you picked up how many new clients from Instagram this week?
I got a new one yesterday. Like
From Instagram.
literally was in Napa. I didn't check my phone all day. He messaged me.
I didn't check my phone.
Imagine if you checked his phone.
Yeah, imagine if you picked up your call when we call you and have leads for you.
So don't get me wrong, whoever's watching, clients, whatever. I answer my phone when clients call. They text me, I answer right away. But this was on Instagram message, so I don't check that often, right? And plus, I was in Napa. My wife wanted me to be present.
Yeah, that's the boundary stuff that is like amazing. That like, you know, and like that's the boundary stuff. Like you're really good at setting boundaries, and like when you're working, you're working, and like. We only work with the best and the brightest in the industry. And like you are like, you know, in such a short amount of time have become one of the best and the brightest in the industry. Like a year and a half to do what you've done is like freaking amazing. So
no, it's super cool.
Yes.
And I want to tap on what you said before you answer your question, because you said, when I'm with my wife, I don't pick up my phone. But when I'm working, I work. When I'm with my wife and it's a special moment, right? Like gentlemen, ladies, put your effing phone down, right? Like put it on do not disturb. If somebody wants to work with you because you have a brand, right? Like that's the arbitrage you talked about. When you have a brand, people are going to wait for you.
Yeah.
If you don't have a brand, you're a commodity.
Yeah.
So if you're scared to make content, if you're scared to put yourself out there, you are a commodity. You are no different than the discount broker. And therefore they have no reason to wait 14 hours for you to get back to them. I love that you come from an entrepreneurial background and you see things and you studied before you jumped into the game. But let's go back to the question at hand. In the last 14 days or whatever, how many potential deals have you brought in from social business? You guys, I want to rephrase this. It's not social media. That's for rookies. Professionals, it's social business.
Yeah. So if you're talking about YouTube included, because
all of it.
Yeah, probably 4.
It's crazy.
And your average price point in Las Vegas is 500, 600, 700?
About 7, yeah.
So 4 deals potentially at 700K is $2.8 million in volume times 2 or 3%. You all can do the math. It's big money here, you guys.
Yeah. I think the big thing as well is it's inbound.
It's crazy.
It's all inbound. Like, you know, it's like they consume your content, and like by the time they actually get to the meeting with you, they already kind of feel like they know you. Like you mentioned, the trust is massively built. Dallas, I want to close up with this question around. It is crazy. Yeah, your mind's blown. I want to close up with this question around like, what do you think is one thing that every real estate agent should be doing in the market today?
That's a good one.
Say that again.
What is one thing that you think every real estate agent, no matter where they're at in North America, should be doing in their market today?
I'm going to let you think about that, and I'm going to give my reason. Can I give an answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think real estate agents need to stop bitching and start working.
I don't want to say like make content, because obviously that's all we've been talking about. It's figure out a way to get yourself out there. You got to be in front of people. Whatever it is, you can go, you know, even if you're can't create content, fine, but you got to get yourself out there, whether it's like, you know, doing groups, your community groups, socializing, door knocking, cold calling. If you don't do the work to put yourself out there, no one's going to come to you.
Activities. We talk about that all the time, like doing outputs, eventually inputs.
You want to be a real estate agent, you got to do.
Do the work.
One of my friends and clients, she didn't want to do the work, and she called me a couple of weeks ago, and I talked to her and I gave her the schedule, and I said, this is how it works. Like, if you want to win, I mean, we've gone over it before. I can't make a horse drink the water. I said, this is what it takes. But my deal is like, you sign out of work somewhere between 5 and 7 every night, right? Like that's when people should sign out if they are doing productivity throughout the day.
Output.
Right. So if you're on task, right? Like the mornings are for setting an appointment. Like that's it. Like your mornings are for setting an appointment. Your morning should end at around 10 o'clock, right? You should have been done with your prospecting. You should have set your appointment. You should be done.
Yeah.
She said to me today, she's like, hey, I'm quitting real estate. And I wanted you to know, like, I appreciate you talking to me for like 2 hours last or 3 weeks ago. I just don't want to do the work. I don't want to do the schedule. I don't want to work. I don't want to, she literally said, I don't want to work. And I was
fine.
like,
and that's fine. It's just real estate's not the right thing. Like, you know,
and
that means real estate's not for her.
and it's not for everyone.
Work for somebody to do their work. That's all it is. It's there's, you know, it's not for everybody. And that's why, you know, 3 years, first year, 85% of real estate agents kind of quit. 3 years is like 95. So you know, it's really only like 1% that's really out there in the world that's really closing deals. And then there's some that are part-time that will only close 1 or 2 a year. And that's fine if that's the kind of agent you want. But if you want to be, you know, if you want to create a career about it, then you also have to market yourself. You have to be out there. Yeah, you have to do things. But honestly, I mean, you have to, in anything in life, even if you're working for some, you got to work.
Yeah.
Why not just work for yourself?
You're 100%
work, right? Yeah. Unless you want to, you know, even if you're a stay-at-home mom, you got to do the work. You got to take care of the family.
I'll tell you, I see how hard my mom worked. I would not ever in a million years want to be a stay-at-home anything, because that work never stop. There is no log out.
Hard work too. So in life, you gotta do work.
My asset, 14 years old.
Goodness.
So don't get into that, you know, new agents for sure, right? New agents, if you're struggling, don't give up, you know, because you're gonna have to do the work. Whatever job you're gonna be getting into, you have to work. So might as well, you know, stick with it. If you love real estate, stick with it. And eventually you're gonna grow that. You're going to grow the followers, you're going to grow your own followers, because the thing is like someone may like Vic's, you know, stuff way more.
Probably smoked a lot of drugs when they were young if they like my content.
And they may not like Vic's content, and they'll follow Dallas, right?
Follow Dallas. That's the moral of the story. Follow Dallas.
As we wrap up here, Dallas, where should people go? Where should people go to find you and follow your content on the social platforms? Which ones are you on? You're on all of them, but how do they get a hold of you on social?
Yeah, at Vegas Living Life on Instagram, and if you're on there, so even Vegas
Living Life,
and then VegasLivingLife.com. Both will work. If you go on my Instagram, there's links to my YouTube channel as well and everything. So, and
obviously you're in Vegas, Las Vegas. You are growing a team. So if there are any agents out there that are looking to refer people, hit up Dallas. He's a stud. Like, absolutely. I tease him about picking up the phone, but when it comes to work, he picks up his phone. It's just sometimes when it comes to picking up new leads, he doesn't, because he has inbound. He doesn't have to. He's got multiple lead sources, right? He gets it. Second, that's all I got.
That's all you got.
That's all I got. Yeah, there is no second.
There is no second. There's a first.
Yeah, there's a one.
You know, Dallas, bottom of my heart, bottom of Vikram's heart, I want to say thank you for joining us today. You know, like a ton of value around content, ton of value. Like, it's crazy that you've only been in the business for a year and a half. Like, and everything you've accomplished. Like you said, if you're in the Vegas area and you are looking for, you know, someone, reach out to Dallas.
And if you guys are an agent and you're in Vegas, which you probably are, because you're probably drinking your sorrows away, you guys should go hit up Dallas and just say, hey, if you're shooting content, can I come hang out with you to see how you do it? And I guarantee you Dallas will open up his plethora of experience to you, because he's just that type of
help. Yeah, glad to help. Honestly, everyone on my team, they're all new. Almost everyone. A couple of them are 2 years, 3 years, but we got 10 people on our team right now. And this team, we started in January. So we got total of 12 people. Met with another guy last week, and he's going to join most likely. He went out with a couple other guys yesterday and did some tours, because I've been teaching him how to do tours, you know, how to be a showing agent, and then also how to be a listing agent, you know, because you gotta be able to know both. Correct. You know, the agents saying that I'm a buyer's agent, I'm a listing agent only, you know, that's fine. That's your choice. But to me,
60%, 80%.
I want to be a professional real estate agent, and that has to be both sides.
Boom, boom.
Dallas,
On that note, thank you. And thank you for tuning in another episode of the Our Agent Podcast. We will see
the number one
real estate podcast in the world. We'll see y'all soon.
Love you, Dallas.
Thanks, Dallas.